when we talk about dealing with racism, um, I think we also have to have an honest conversation about the way in which racism itself is violent, and it's maintained through violence and the threat of violence. Um, so so if the question is how do we talk about it without there being more violence, I would say that the violence is already here. It's transformed in some ways the way in which the violence is expressed and what hands are demonstrating the violence. But I we could argue that poor people of color in Flint who experienced lead in their water for years without intervention was a violence to the body. We could argue that the environmental racism that poor communities and indigenous communities experience is a violence. It is a violence to the body, and I would say that not talking about it, not talking about the history of it, not being honest about it, allows the perpetuation of violence to continue. Because whether we see it or not, that's what's maintaining it. So when we think about even the more recent tragic and painful images of Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd, those are the examples of literal violence taking a life, but we also have the kind of psychological shaping that now we have people who look like those individuals and who love individuals who look like Ahmaud and love individuals who look like George, who are part of their family at their dinner table. Um, that the violence that they experience becomes a sort of psychological terrorism. So what we must do is be honest about the history and the reality so that violence can end, because the violence is taking place whether we want to call it that or not.